I'm joined now by royal commentator Emily Andrews. Emily, welcome to the newly revamped Independent Republican, Mike Graham. It's been quite a day. We'll look at some of the things that happened today in a moment, but an extraordinary period, again, for the King, having only really been king for less than a year.
Yeah, indeed. And, you know, he's waited his whole life to do the job. You know, he's the longest-serving Prince of Wales. He became heir to the throne when he was just 4 years old.
Right.
And yet within 14, 15, 16 months, here he is having to step back from the big job. I mean, Buckingham Palace say that obviously he's still doing his state business, very keen to reassure us.
Yes.
Still doing his red boxes, still can see the Prime Minister, still hopefully can do Privy Council by Zoom. COVID showed us that, you know, monarchs can use video calls. But not being able to do those public-facing engagements because I think his doctors want to limit any kind of you know, exposure to any, you know, flu or any kind of viruses is very sensibly. And those public engagements are the things that he really enjoys doing.
Right.
I thought that timeline that you put together by your own fair hand, Mike, was excellent, actually, because it really kind of does bring home, I think, the magnitude of work that he's done.
And I think that's what we all realised yesterday, as we were talking last night on the show about what you know, if people say, oh, well, what do they do? Don't do much. Well, they do an awful lot, actually. And there's an awful lot because they can now not do it that will sort of go missing. But I mean, one of the things we said last night was, will the palace give us any more information about exactly what kind of cancer he's got? And there was some who said that they probably will once they know what it is. Do you share that view?
I think that they will want it, not right now. So the short answer is no, we won't get any more information right now. We know that it's not prostate cancer, but we know that the cancer was picked up when he was having that operation at the London clinic for a benign enlarged prostate. Now, it could be any number of things, and the palace have asked us not to speculate because it's not very helpful, which I understand.
Which is fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we all want to know, but I also understand, you know, it's that very difficult balancing act, isn't it? On the one hand, he is the head of state, his health is a matter of public record, and we all want to know. It's not just the head of state here, head of state of 14 other countries around the world, but also he is allowed privacy. And so I think it's fair enough that the palace haven't told us so that, you know, if they were, we were having medical experts, prognoses, you know, speculating about how long the treatment would be, what treatment he'd have. So I think he's very much entitled to have that privacy. I think once he perhaps has finished the treatment or perhaps then it's gone well, I think that's the key. It's gone well and he's deemed to be, you know, not in remission specifically, but perhaps
responding to the treatment or something like that.
And then perhaps he might. I mean, look, he's patron of a number of cancer charities. Perhaps he said already that he wanted to give the transparency of his benign prostate operation to encourage more men to go and get their prostate checked. And we've seen the result of that. The NHS website, sort of huge surging numbers, which is really, really encouraging. Have you had your prostate checked, Mike?
Yes. Well, I mean, I'm not obviously at will to say that, but yes, I have actually.
Good, good.
So, you know, as I should do, and as all men should do as well.
Because obviously, Charles, having done this, it meant that this other thing was picked up. It was asymptomatic. And I think that's also the key, that, you know, often if you do go and get things checked out, the initial thing might be okay, but there might be other things.
As well.
Yeah. So I think that Charles has said that he wants to be transparent, he wants to encourage other people. So I suspect that in time, perhaps he or the palace will, or maybe he might become patron of another cancer charity or etc. Thought it was very interesting that on Sunday was World Cancer Day, and I don't ever remember the royal family before marking World Cancer Day, but the royal family social media channels did. So of course, now we know why.
So now we know why. Let's just have a quick look at what happened over the last 24 hours.
King Charles has been seen in public for the first time since his cancer diagnosis was revealed, waving at well-wishers as his car left Clarence House before heading off to rest and recuperate in Sandringham by helicopter. The King was joined by his youngest son, Prince Harry, this afternoon, who flew in from Los Angeles to Heathrow and was pictured arriving at Clarence House for a brief reunion with his father, believed to be their first since the King's coronation last May.
So, a big question now, Emily, is where is Harry? Because we don't think he's gone to Sandringham. He's obviously not in the helicopter, even though he is an aviation legend. I thought he might have been flying it. It could have been that opportunity.
He could have done that.
He could have done that and just gone, look at me, I'm an aviation legend.
Keeping up my flying hours.
Taking down in the helicopter. But so where do you think he is?
Well, the short answer is I don't know. He flew into Heathrow around lunchtime. He was given Metropolitan Police protection straight away. I imagine he'll have used the Windsor Suite, which of course is reserved for the royals and VIPs. He was brought to London with a police convoy. He was given police protection. He was driven straight to Clarence House, where he saw his father for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Not that long,
Not really.
some might say. And then...
This is the first time he's seen him this year, right?
First time he's seen him, really, since the death of the Queen, since the Queen's funeral. Because actually, if we look at the timeline of Harry's visits to the UK, when he came for the coronation, he didn't even speak to his father.
He left straight after, didn't he?
Straight after the service at the Abbey, he was back. I think he went very briefly back to Buckingham Palace, even to perhaps get changed, but didn't see members of his family. Straight back to the airport, so he could be back for Archie's birthday, because the day of the coronation was on Archie's birthday. And so then he did come back to London in the autumn last year for a charity engagement on the way to Invictus in the Netherlands. Didn't see his father then, because his father was up at Scotland. Was invited to see his father, didn't see his father. So really, this is the first time he's spoken to his father face-to-face for 15, 16 months. Charles doesn't have a mobile phone, so it's not exactly if Harry can WhatsApp and say, right, Dad, how you doing? So it really, and it's difficult to get hold of Charles. So it was, I think, a very welcome development. Where is Harry now? I suspect he'll be back at the airport and back going home.
Well, we'll find out some more about that coming up.